and we are now live. Last episode, we had the Voch Lombardi takeover. If you guys didn't watch or listen to that, make sure you check that out. It's just me and Mike on this show, though.
What's up, everybody?
What are we going to be talking about? What do we have? What does the ticker say? Todd Gurley's knee, N'Keal Harry, and Zion.
Wow.
Those are the three topics.
Those are good ones.
Yep. Jackson Martin's in the building. Big Jim Jean's in the building. So last time on the last podcast was amazing, I thought. I think
I loved it.
It could be I'd just say it's one of our best podcasts, I'd say.
Great energy.
Yeah, it was awesome. Having Voch on there was awesome. And I basically told him, like, dude, I flaked and, I really want to get you back on. Like, I was busy writing a book and I wasn't really good at writing. I didn't know how hard it would be. So, like, it went bestseller. Like, I just felt like I had to tell him all this. And thankfully, he read all my DMs and was cool about it. And he was like, I'll hop on. And so he hopped on and we did a cool NFL draft recap. And it was awesome. But, it was basically Voch Lombardi takeover. So we couldn't really see what you guys were writing. I was reading it, but, it was like, I felt like it was the show to just let him speak. Right? I mean, that's why we had him on, right?
Yeah, he was the star of the show for sure. And I think he was hilarious, in my opinion. So I definitely liked him as a guest.
Yeah, so we just let him talk. He gave us a lot of insight about the Cowboys, and we just talked about the draft, and that's what he does on his channel, reviews a lot of young players. But this one, we're going to be reading a lot of what you guys are saying in the chat. By the way, guys, we are always live on YouTube, so you can check it out at Fantasy Couch Podcast YouTube channel, and then we post a replay on there, of course, of the video, and then you can listen to the audio version on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever it may be. So let's start off with Todd Gurley's knee. We got somebody in the chat. Thomas has Todd Gurley as a keeper. Well, a lot of these Todd Gurley keepers, this group of the Gurley keepers here, they're very biased and they don't like what I gotta say. They're always like, "No, you're incorrect." Like, what do you mean? Like, what am I giving you bias info here? Like, I'm just giving you what it is. And so I had to explain to someone today on Instagram. He's like, "Oh, I'm a huge fan. Been following for a lot. Why do you have Todd Gurley ranked number 15?" And I'm right here I got my rankings right here, Mike. So, Mike, if you want to bring up the two rankings to follow along on the fantasycouch.com, you guys can follow along as well. So I got my rankings up, and that's what I'm showing on the video right now for those that are watching.
Got it.
So okay, he's like, "Why do you have Todd Gurley ranked 15? So he's actually ranked 16. And so I explained to him, and I'm going to explain in further detail right now. So I texted our buddy Raj, who is a physician down in LA, and he helps athletes perform better and rehab and things like that. Also texted our friend Dr. Chris, who is a chiropractor, trained he's a certified trainer. He knows all about this stuff. He's worked with a lot of athletes, NFL, NBA, MLB, and both of them said similar things. So I'm going to just give it to you straight. Okay, best case scenario for Todd Gurley. These are predictions. This is what we're going off what we're getting. No bias involved here, straight to the point. Best case scenario for Todd Gurley, he's going to be the starter. He's going to be good. He's going to be a big part of the Rams offense, but they will limit his workload and they will monitor his knee. I think they learned their lesson from throwing him out there. Like, Todd Gurley, you're in 90% of offensive snaps. We have a 3-touchdown lead. You're still in all the snaps. We're down in the game. You're still in all the snaps. I mean, there was nobody. Who else was running back there, Mike, other than until before CJ Anderson came?
Before John
Malcolm Brown, I think, got injured. Yeah, it's like nobody, basically. He was in there. He
was a workhorse, basically.
Like, pure workhorse. Like,
pure workhorse.
I guess comparable to Saquon or Zeke, probably even more. Because the Rams were crushed. Their offense was killing it. And you see them have a 2-touchdown, 3-touchdown lead in the fourth quarter. Todd Gurley's still lining up. So, that's not going to happen anymore. This is best case scenario. He's going to be limited. They drafted Darrell Henderson, who is an amazing amazing college running back. This kid is really good. So the guy on Instagram was DMing me like, they got rid of CJ Anderson. I was like, well, CJ Anderson couldn't make the Raiders squad. He couldn't make the Panthers squad. Two bad teams. I'm a CJ Anderson fan from the same hometown. I like him. But Darrell Henderson's supposed to be better than CJ Anderson. I'll put it like that. So that's the best case scenario, guys. Not going to be a pure workhorse. He'll still be the starter. He'll still be productive. He'll still be good. Terry says you have Gurley ranked 16th because you're smart. Well, they do call me the brain. Thank you for that. It's okay. There will be times where I will be stupid, but that's okay. That's what happens when you predict the future. Worst case scenario, Dr. Raj is telling me.
Oh no.
In 2 to 3 years, it'll progressively get worse and worse until Gurley is forced out of the league. Then he went on to say, I have to tell you, though, that is a very, very unlikely scenario. So there you have it, guys. It's all about floor and ceiling. So I gave you the floor and ceiling of this. Of course, a lot of you already know the TMZ footage of Todd Gurley, quote unquote, limping. You guys haven't been great sleuths for me. I asked you to go find some video. Can you guys go find video footage of him walking normally? And then we'll compare whether or not this is a pimp limp or an actual injury limp. Looks like an injury limp to me, folks. Pretty sure it's an injury limp. Moving on. What do you have anything to add with Todd Gurley, Mike?
So you're basically saying all the Gurley keeper owners are in trouble.
Time to panic. Time to panic. I never say that too. Like, don't panic, guys. Just it's time to panic because you, like Scout, right? We did a dynasty startup league this past year. I drafted Saquon number 1 overall. He drafted Gurley number 1 overall. I was satisfied with Saquon, and I loved him all the way through and out. Like, from week 1 to week 17, like, I was cool. I didn't care. He was thinking he came out on top and made the even better draft pick. So that's why the Todd Gurley keepers are in a little bit disbelief. So now he's like going from, dude, I just got the best player in fantasy for the next 5+ years to being like, oh, what's going on?
That's really bad.
And that's exactly what happens in football. I mean, I have Patrick Mahomes on that league, and I'm a bit worried. Like, who
would you rather have, Jerick McKinnon or Todd Gurley? at this point, right now,
just go Todd Gurley.
Okay.
At least the man has beasted. Like, he's held the number 1 fantasy spot, a couple times in his hand. Jerick McKinnon, what does he have?
He never got a chance to play last year. He could have been.
That's
good.
Negative though too, because he's is he gonna stay healthy? So that's a negative. Like, it's just, I mean, you're comparing the two, right? I mean, if you gave me a guy who was somewhat close, then I'd be like,
I'm just saying, who has more upside right now? Like, if you were to draft
Gurley
right now, you still say Gurley. Okay,
yeah,
I just wanted to see how bad it's gotten.
I don't know how long you tune into the Facebook group, but somebody asked about the Niners backfield, and I was like, in order for avoid all of them. For you to have success in fantasy with the 49ers running back, a lot of things have to happen. That guy has to be healthy. The guy you draft, another guy has to get injured, or there's always a team who has 2 running backs get injured in 1 year. Like, we're just talking about the Rams. They had 2 running backs get injured the same year. And then they're so desperate they go get anything. Like, we need a running back ASAP. So then they go get, they call the Niners and get one of their running backs because they have 3 or 4 of them ready to be shipped off. Kelly or Henderson, University of Poker, definitely Henderson. My God, now, I might be mistaken, guys, but I think this guy got like 1,900 yards in college in 1 year. Go look that up, fact check. That's how insane Darrell Henderson is.
Fact check.
Jamie, fact check that.
Young Jamie.
So my rankings are, guys, they're on fantasycouch.com. These are my rankings right here, overall, separate by position and overall. And I also have my dynasty rankings right here. It's totally separate post. Dynasty rookie rankings, to be exact. So I'm doing just rookies. And I got N'Keal Harry at number 1. Josh Jacobs, number 2. David Montgomery, the Bears running back, number 3. Miles Sanders, Eagles running back, number 4. And a bit of a shocker, Devin Singletary, the Bills running back, number 5. Then goes DK Metcalf, Kyler Murray, so on and so forth. I have Devin Singletary, Mike, on the Bills. It's, I guess what you can say. I have him ranked 15 spots higher than the consensus. You can say
Wow.
there's Lesean McCoy, there's Frank Gore, there's T.J. Yeldon. There's a couple. There's other guys are no names. There's another player on there, another running back, and then there's Devin Singletary, who looks amazing. A little bit short. I think he's 5'7", but
You watched his
great.
college film?
Yeah, he looks
Okay.
great. I need to watch more though, but he looks good. Vach said he looks like a Lesean McCoy, but a little bit more attitude.
Okay, that's the guy.
That's
he
the
was
guy.
talking
Yeah,
about?
and they're on the same
Okay,
team.
I remember that.
So
All
okay,
right.
let's go through this the competition right now. Frank Gore, Lesean McCoy, and T.J. Yeldon. What do you think about that competition?
Very old and injury prone, I would say. So obviously that is a good chance for a young back, as long as he stays healthy, to reach the top of that. And I mean, they probably have nothing to lose by playing him. So I think it could be maybe like a Philip Lindsay type situation where he rises to the top.
What I'm thinking is not necessarily this year. Remember, this is Dynasty. Not
Oh,
necessarily
Dynasty,
this
okay,
year.
sorry. Right.
But LeSean McCoy, he spoiled Avengers Endgame on Twitter. Don't know
What a
how
jerk.
much longer he's going to be on that team. You also, I didn't really talk. He is a bit injury prone. He does get banged up from here,
A
sometimes.
bit.
Yeah, a bit. Then you got Frank Gore, who's 35. How many years is he going to
Pushing
play
40.
for the Bills? Yeah, pushing 40 and a running back. Like, I don't know.
God bless him.
That
Though.
doesn't.
He's been at it for a long time.
Yeah, he's great. He's crushed, and I think I've come to change my mind about the Hall of Fame for him.
You should. That's good. Still
Hey
time.
man, I learn. That's sometimes I have a hard stance, but I'm not afraid to be like, I changed my mind, and I don't think I assessed that the right way. Phillip Rivers though, I'm keeping him out the Hall of Fame.
That's good. I like that.
I ain't changing that. Ain't changing Rivers, guys. He's out of the Hall of Fame. But some of the points you guys told me, especially you, Mike, about Frank Gore, I got to put him in the Hall of Fame because you're like, dude, he's a running back. Like, it's obviously not.
He's still playing.
Yeah, and is playing at a high level. I mean, for his team, for all the circumstances, he's still good. And I mean, he really carried our 49ers. Like, he was one of the main guys for that franchise for so long. Really, it puts another term, like workhorse. Like, he really was he put the team on his back because the team was sucking for many years, and he played the same exact way. Yeah. He didn't care.
And he must be a good I think he has to be a great teammate if they keep, signing him. I think he is a good influence on the young players.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. So that's why Devin Singletary, I do think this year he'll be good. But that's not I'm not going to bank on it, But next year,
that offense is pretty bad. I mean,
it's getting better though. We thought the Bills would be last place last year. They had a little bit of spark. They need some help.
Josh Allen, are you high on Josh Allen?
As far as fantasy is concerned, he's just another quarterback to me. Like, he could be really good though. It's just another, there's so many quarterbacks though, dude. Like,
not even fantasy wise, just do you think he is
I like
a
him.
quarterback that they can win with?
I like him, yeah. I like him. Okay. He's young, he needs to develop. But I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job with the supporting cast he had. I mean, who do you have to throw to? I know the guy. I'm terrible with names, but there was a guy named McKinnon, Robert Foster. No, not McKinnon, but it's close to that. He had nobody. So now that at least they have a couple players. They have a Cole Beasley, and they got another wide receiver. I think they drafted a tight end, or they signed one. So they have a couple more players. Let's see what the chat's saying. Who would you keep? Same spot, Marlon Mack or Sony Michel? Go with Mack. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I like Mack. I think he has more upside than
Sony Michel's knees, and then they drafted another running back, Damian Harris. So, I mean, I don't like Sony Michel's dope, guys, but remember, he is a Patriot, and he does have a little bit knee concern, and they did draft another running back.
And he doesn't catch enough balls for my taste.
I think he can catch, but they don't. They do not. Yeah, I mean, they're like, no, you're not catching.
Yeah, so why would you do that? Marlon Mack is a great receiving back.
He's overall, he's If Marlon Mack
Well,
is
they throw to him
oh,
a lot.
if Marlon Mack is healthy, he's a RB1
Yeah,
for sure this year. Like, it's
yeah,
just no
I think
doubt.
he will be.
A good team. He's on a good Colts team. They're not playing around with that running back position either. It's Marlon Mack pretty much.
Yeah. Last year there was a lot of different backs in that. Like that was a mess last year, but I think this year it should be him, So if he could stay healthy, that's a great I think back on the rise, like trending upwards.
Doing good. Okay. All right.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Wait, why do you have Derrick Henry so high? I'm just curious.
Somebody asked me this on Twitter just a couple hours ago. So he
Okay,
finished
cool.
off like 200 rush yards. This is the last 4 games.
Yeah, he got hot at the end.
200 rush yards, 150 rush yards, 90 rush yards, something like that, right?
So you think the trend's gonna continue?
Yeah, and so I've listened to him talk as well. So there, obviously they put a microphone in his face after he destroyed the Jaguars.
Yeah, that was a great.
They'd upload that footage to Pornhub, It was against the terms of service for that site, so it was bad. So I mean, he destroyed the Jaguars. I mean, of course they had to, and then he kept it up, and he won a lot of people fantasy play. It was right when the fantasy playoffs were coming around. So it's like they put a microphone to his face, and he said, basically, he's like, I knew I had to play harder. So he got angrier. He had to play. He was, I think, reading between lines, he was getting kind of soft and kind of complacent or kind of fed up. Like, I was coming out of college. He's like, I'm going to be a dope running back in this league. Like, I'm going to destroy this league. Like, he had that mentality, and he was drafted in the first round. I mean, he was ready to go. Yeah, he was good. And I mean, just looking at him, the guy is huge. He looks crazy. He looks like a defensive end. And he just said, and the offense wasn't really clicking. It wasn't really working. So the offense like, look, we're going to run with Derrick Henry, and that's it. And Derrick Henry was like, dude, I'm going to, I got to show out. So just what he was saying, and then also what the coaching staff was saying, like, we have to do this because Derrick Henry, there's no running back like him. And that's not necessarily a positive thing or a negative thing. He just needs a certain type of system. He needs certain type of run plays. Like, for instance, he's not a scat back. He's the complete opposite. He doesn't catch the ball. He doesn't run routes. He needs a stretch zone play. He needs a certain power plays. Like, he has a certain skill set. It's specific. Most running backs can do a lot, but he's so good at it that if you just feed him the rock, Dion Lewis essentially became irrelevant those games. Remember, it was like I drafted Dion Lewis. Like, that's so I got such a good steal. Then it was like, okay, that guy's just a little third down back. Like, I mean, he'll get a couple snaps here and there. Like, he just got his role got diminished.
I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be like a pretty even, split, and I thought they would use them a lot more, but I just don't think they utilize these guys properly sometimes.
I think the offensive coordinator, Matt, and sorry guys, I suck at names, but I'm pretty sure Matt LaFleur is his name. He went to the Packers, so he's gone. And now he's gonna bring this weird running back by committee crappy situation to Aaron Jones owners. So nice. It sucks with that. I don't know how you don't have Aaron Jones like being the workhorse. It doesn't make any sense, but they drafted a running back too in the Packers. Anyway, going to Dynasty, man, I think Derrick Henry was a second round pick? No.
Like in the actual NFL draft?
Was he?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, that sounds right. Definitely wasn't a first round pick.
Oh, I thought it was a first round pick.
Running backs don't get drafted in the first round.
Who was there was only one running back selected before him that year. Was it who was it? Round 2, pick 45. Oh, that's garbage. I don't remember anything. What am I doing? I think he was the second running back selected that year, though, in the draft. Maybe I'm right about that. Dang, I don't know, where's my memory? Anyway, he was supposed to be a beast. Yeah, I think
he's a Heisman winner.
I think it was Gurley.
Highly rated.
Yeah, and just was disappointed. But I think the trend will continue. But it's not just I just wanted to go into detail because it's not just a trend. Like, he did good and he's gonna keep doing good. Like, I seen it with my own eyes. I heard what he said. I heard what the coaching staff said. Offensive coordinator is different. Putting all that together, and it was a solid trend too, guys. It was week 14, 15, 16, 17. It wasn't like the spurts we used to see before. Like, it was like he finished strong. Nobody wanted to tackle this guy. He basically, the Jaguars were falling apart, and he completely dismantled the team. The team had no, like, after that, you knew the Jaguars were just totally done. They're like, people are, what happened to the Jaguars? And they're like, oh, the Jaguars are one of the worst teams now. Dude, torched them. I got N'Keal Harry as my number one dynasty rookie. I think this guy, underrated, it's not the right word, but he is underrated. He's rated high, but he's still underrated. People still think highly of him, but he's still underrated. His speed and quickness is very underrated. People compare him to Dez Bryant, but he's like Dez Bryant, but with way better after the catch skills. Way quicker, way faster, but does have that go get it out the air mentality. 50-50 balls or 80-20 balls with him. And I already liked him, and landing in this situation is the best situation for N'Keal Harry. Going to play against alongside Tom Brady, and they really, really, really need a receiver. I think he's going to be the starter day one. There's really no competition with him. Austin Seferian-Jenkins is there. Ben Watson is there. Julian Edelman's the main guy always, but he's have injury histories, getting older.
Gronk's gone.
Gronk is gone.
Huge.
Josh Gordon's, he's hitting whatever he's hitting, whatever his habit is nowadays. He's back to that. Out of football. I don't think he'll be playing much next year.
No.
So
fool me 4 times. Can't fool me the 5th time.
fool me the 5th time.
Not happening again.
It was Zeke. That's who it was. I think Zeke was drafted that year. Zeke was the first running back, and then Derrick Henry.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
If I even remember right, but
that sounds right. I think that's right.
Yeah. That's what University of Poker's telling me.
I believe him.
Terry says N'Keal Henry, he thinks was the steal of the draft. I also love Seahawks getting DK Metcalf basically in round 3. I thought that was a steal as well.
They need him. They definitely need him after Baldwin retiring, and they don't have much else. But I kind of agree with a lot of the people that have been observing him, like why he fell. They were saying, like, you were saying too, his cone drill was like really slow. And so I started watching like some of his highlights in the rookie mini camp so far. And he just doesn't run like fluid, like with a lot of agility. Like he doesn't cut quickly. He's very stiff, in my opinion. So I don't know if that might be the reason why he fell and why he might not ultimately succeed in the NFL. But I definitely think it's something to look out for. Like I wouldn't just put all my eggs in the Metcalf basket.
I don't think anyone's putting all their eggs in the Metcalf basket.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Willie McGinnis on NFL Network said Nick Bosa was stiff, and then I think he changed his mind because he was praising him a month later, and it's like
it's different though. He's a defensive end. Like a receiver can't be stiff. But like a receiver has to be like making quick movements and cuts. So unless you're just gonna run them on go routes, or
I'd say they both can't be stiff. But yes, it matters more as a wide receiver. Yes, but I mean nowadays, you do want to have fluid hips and make cuts if you're defensive end chasing against these quarterbacks. Even like a Tom Brady, who's not a runner, but just those little quick moves he does. You do need to be agile and be able to move around and bend.
Bosa has the best hand technique, though, so he'll be fine.
He's a big dude, so, I guess he's kind of stiff, but, I don't see that.
I don't agree with that.
I meant, if you compare him to a small guy, I guess.
I don't even think. I think he's a lot more agile than all those guys.
He's a stud.
Yeah, I think that's just nitpicking, or you just a hater of Bosa. But if you watch, the film, like, he's an elite player.
Yeah, today they said he's a little bit more athletic than his brother, a little quicker, so essentially a little less stiffer than Joey Bosa, which I'll take that. Oh, it's a topic I really wanted to talk about. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this one. Dude, Niners defense and fantasy and the Niners D line is so spicy, guys. And look, I'm a little scared. Like, I'm a Niner fan. I can't do this. I'm gonna just say it. It is non-biased. This defensive line could be the best in the league. I don't see
On
anyone even
paper,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, this is it's intense, bro. There's 5 good defensive linemen potentially, and the 4 that are starting are just crazy.
5 former first rounders.
Yeah, and that's what I love in fantasy. So there are some holes. There's a good chance this won't be a great playoff defense, and some things could fall apart easily. Richard Sherman could get hurt. Jason,
Well, we had the least interceptions too. So
our coverage was
in the
atrocious.
Yeah,
Just
but that could have been because of lack of pass rush. So now that we have a good one, that might change things.
So
It might help
look,
out.
the upside is there. Like it's the defense could be playing extremely well, but let me say, a lot of bad things can happen. Richard Sherman could get hurt. Jason Verrett, he's only played a handful of games, and that's like you need coverage, and we need those guys to be healthy to play good. And then the D line is amazing. Let's see how the linebackers play. We got one good safety. Maybe go get Eric Berry.
Yes,
So,
that's what I want.
Man, I think for a regular season, maybe even wild card, if all goes well, this defense could be someone to target in the second to last round in fantasy drafts. This is one of my sleeper defenses. 49ers D. I'm having trouble ranking them low.
Right.
Like how?
Stream,
Huh?
You're not a streamer, defensive streamer.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm still drafting one.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who went on. I'm the only guy who went on and told people to draft the Jaguars #1 and not to take him 2 years ago and not to take him late.
The Bears D was the one that I got last year. That was really good. Like I wouldn't stream over having that.
I was high on the Bears D, but not. I mean, I didn't rank him nearly as high as as I should have. Like I was very high on him. I ranked him high. As soon as Khalil Mack got on board, I just boosted him up. The rankings. But I always draft the defense late, and I try to swing for the fences. Or you can draft whoever has a good week 1 matchup. Hey Ron now says you're the defensive / special team whisperer now, Brain. Well, I've been good at. So this is my philosophy, guys. Some owners in every league, there's going to be owners that draft defenses and kickers too early. But in just about every league, also, almost no owners do research on defense and kickers. So the little bit of research, when I say little bit, I mean, I don't spend a ton of time, but I do this full time. So I'm doing a good amount of research. I do focus on the other positions way more, though. So this time I do spend on defenses and kickers gives me an advantage, so I know who the sleepers are. There's no kicker sleeper list. There's no defense sleeper list. Like, no one's talking about those positions. So if I'm able to spend a little bit of time, enough to come up with a sleeper list, an underrated list of defenses and kickers, I'm able to get a kicker in round 16 and a defense in round 15 that has that upside. And sure, I'm going to be wrong sometimes, but those are the two positions where you have the highest chance of being wrong regardless. Remember, who's your boy that won the league last year, the Couch League, Jeff?
Yeah.
He picked the Jaguars in round 10. And I told right when he came back, I told him that was a terrible pick. And it was.
Never the defense that was good the year before.
Yeah, and it was a terrible pick. Like, it's okay to go with the Jaguars in round 12 maybe. And I wouldn't recommend that. I still think that's bad, but 10 means it's terrible.
Horrible.
Yeah, 10 means it's terrible. I don't know how he even won.
That's a wasted pick. He just wasted.
He almost lost because of it. Like, it almost cost him. I don't know how he won. Like, geez. So it is what it is. Yeah, and but that's why I do this. I look at the sleepers, and I let these guys draft. It's funny. Like the year Matt Bryant, the Falcons kicker, goes super early a few years ago. He has his worst year. The year Justin Tucker gets drafted super early, he has his worst year fantasy wise. It always happens, and defenses, of course, that's even worse. People, round 9, Broncos D.
Don't reach on the Bears. Basically, is what
Broncos D, Broncos D. Everyone go Broncos. Now, actually, the Bears D would be one that I would reach for a little bit.
Oh, you would?
Round, I don't know, 13, 12. They probably won't last.
Some people are gonna reach though.
Yeah,
that's the defense.
Some jerk's gonna pick them way before that. You know it.
Like 9th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably 10 or
Some
11. But
crazy.
yeah, in
Yeah.
some leagues 9.
Someone
Some
will.
leagues 9 are way earlier. Yeah, some leagues.
Yeah, you never
Hopefully
know.
not our leagues. But I mean,
No.
hopefully I'm not playing with idiots like that. I mean, I'll take the money, but that's not good YouTube content when I film it. They'll make fun of me too much. Be like, oh, I could win
Someone will
this
do it.
league. Yeah, yeah, you could. Someone's drafted the Bears D in round 7. So yeah, and you know why is because I really like the Ravens D, but I feel a little bit
Ooh.
unsure. There's a little bit uncertainty with the Ravens D this year. I do love them though; they're ranked number 2, but the Bears D I think is just so solidified as my number 1 spot, and that's the only reason I would consider drafting them maybe in round 12 or 13. And they're not going to last that far. So that's
What
the
about
only
bounce
reason.
back year for the Jags? Considering their
Nope.
draft, do you think
No.
that they come back or they're just like
No,
last
not
year?
with their linebacker like retiring and all these
Oh
question
yeah,
marks.
yeah.
So they can bounce back for sure, but I'm not going out of my way, not even for a round or two, to reach for them and hopefully they'll be back to a top number 1 spot or number 3 spot. Like I just don't see that. Sure, they can bounce back and be a good every week startable defense, but not too much going on, man. I mean, who's like even Fournette's got to play well to keep the defense off. Like even their offense is suspect.
At least they got Foles now.
Better quarterback, but
That's a big jump.
yeah, but it's like I mean, he doesn't have many weapons. Like I need the offense to keep the defense off the field. Like I need some stuff to happen. Like the team's a bit of a mess, dude. They got Fournette, they got their linebacker quitting.
Fournette needs to stay healthy though. Like if he can't stay healthy this year, I think we should all just he should give up on the NFL.
They got that running back Rock. What's his name? I don't know. Rock Armstead.
Rock
They
Armstead,
drafted
yeah.
him. He's okay. So we'll see, what's going to happen. Jags D won't get off the field. They'll run out of gas each week. That is accurate. That is correct. What do you think about the Jets D this year? That's a tough one. That's a little interesting, huh? With getting the
With
best
Quinnen Williams,
player
yeah.
in the draft. They got to do
But
something.
that's all they added though, right? I mean, they didn't get
They almost
like,
got
a lot of other
they
free
almost got
agents.
Anthony Barr.
Oh,
They
that would have been
almost
good. I like
No,
Anthony
they didn't
Barr.
get him.
I know. I'm just saying, like that would have been good.
They
Yeah,
added some pieces. Like they got safety, they got D line.
they don't know what they're doing. They just fire their GM after the draft.
Dude,
And free agency.
everywhere
They
Adam.
don't know what they're doing.
I don't know why. I'm like an Adam Gase fan, but I'm still like we got to see what's up. So I'm giving him one more year. But everywhere Adam Gase goes, it gets weird.
They should give Gary Vee a chance. Just see what happens. He's a huge Jets fan.
Would Gary Vee take this kind
I
of
think he would.
like
I think he
position to
would.
where he owns like 0.02% just to put his name on? Don't you think he wants to be like a real owner? Like, give me 11% of this team.
He would take. I think he would take GM though for now, just to be the GM. I think he would do it.
We'll see. I don't know. That's a bit. Everywhere Adam Gase goes, weird things happen. I feel like he did well with the crappy
The Dolphins, right?
team last year. They were so garbage, and I think he did like. There's no coach who could have done better with that type of squad. Gosh, thankfully everyone now knows who Ryan Tannehill is.
Well, he has Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he should be doing better this year. If you can't do anything with Le'Veon, then
And Sam Darnold's better than any Dolphins
Yeah.
quarterback.
yeah, so he's got to be doing a little bit better this year. There's no excuses if you get Le'Veon Bell. Like you got to perform now, make something happen out there.
So, yeah, that's it for Dynasty. So talk about a little bit of basketball. Zion.
Zion mania, everybody. Well, I was really hyped up about the draft. I was really looking forward to it. I really, really, really wanted the Knicks to get him. I just thought that would have been the perfect combination of like iconic player, downtrodden franchise in a big market, like the marketing potential. Like I used to do online marketing. I'm big into branding, obviously, with Fantasy Couch. Me and Hussein know a lot about branding and opportunity. And I just thought, man, like the money he could have made in New York would have been astronomical. He would have been the most beloved player since Patrick Ewing. I thought it was all set up perfectly. Patrick Ewing was there, the last number 1 pick. They got up into the the last four, the final four. So it was between the Lakers, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, and the Knicks. And man, when they flipped the card for the Knicks with the number 3 pick, I was devastated for the city of New York. I just feel like they've had so many bad things happen to to that city from a sports perspective. The Knicks haven't been relevant in years. They have a chance to get one of the most iconic players since LeBron James, and he goes to the Pelicans, the absolute worst possible scenario for him. And I just felt bad for him, man. I just think it left a bad taste in everyone's mouth after the draft, except obviously if you're a New Orleans resident or fan. And he goes in from the biggest market to the smallest in the NBA. I just feel bad for the kid. So we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to vent about that for a little bit.
And New Orleans got a player. What else are they gonna do?
I think this is what I think will happen. So right now, obviously Zion he's pretty sad. Like you can see, I don't know if you didn't watch it, obviously, but a lot of people that witnessed it and observed his body language, he looked like he was gonna cry when he saw that the Pelicans got the top
Ron
pick.
says he can always go back to school. No, he can't. Can
No, I think
not really.
you look like a jerk. Like everyone, I mean, you just tarnish your image as like, a good wholesome guy. Because everyone, look what happened when Eli did it. Everyone hated him for that. I mean, he made the right decision forcing that trade to New York, but I mean, it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And I just don't think it works like that in basketball. I don't know. I could be wrong. He does have a lot of power. This is the player empowerment era of the NBA, but I just don't see him doing it. But here's a scenario that could appease him. I just don't think he's going to trade with the Lakers. I think that those two organizations, front offices, hate each other after what happened last season. I know that the Pelicans got a new GM, David Griffin, so that's different. He'll probably make some different moves than the past regime, but I just don't see them trading and facilitating with the Lakers, basically. So this is what I think is going to happen. So the Knicks have the 3rd overall pick, right? And they're projected to get his college teammate at Duke, RJ Barrett. So I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna somehow work out a package with the Knicks because they also have a lot of first round picks, and he is gonna team up with RJ Barrett in New Orleans. So they're gonna be happy, and then the Knicks get AD and maybe also KD and Kyrie, and that's the scenario that I see playing out. That makes everyone happy.
Ron made a funny comment, but I think it sounds accurate. Let me know the accuracy on this.
Okay.
3 first rounders for Zion.
What do you mean? Like, what do you?
So
mean
the Knicks will trade 3 first rounders to get Zion.
I think you need more than that. I mean, you're gonna have to.
Well, that's where you start, and then some players.
Yeah, that's where you. Well, the Knicks have the 3rd overall pick, so that would be hypothetically RJ Barrett, which is his teammate. So right there, that's where you start. That's the key right there. And then you add the 3 first rounders, and you probably have to throw in like Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox and whoever else to sweeten the deal.
Oh,
but
yeah. I was going to ask you who's on the Knicks. I just tried
Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox.
Yeah, they got Dennis Smith Jr. You could throw him in there too.
They traded Porzingis away.
I think it was good.
At first,
I
thought it was good. I don't know.
I honestly I'm one of the few people that think that this will work out for the Knicks. I think that Kevin Durant is leaving the Warriors after the season. I just have a weird feeling. I think he is going to go to the Knicks, and if he does, I think that Kyrie is going to follow him because he knows he doesn't want to stay on the Celtics.
Celtics
he already
are a disaster.
That's a disaster, and they're actually better off without him. So I think why not make Kyrie happy? He's from New York, New Jersey. Ship him there with his BFF KD. They get they get AD. That's a big 3 that can make the finals, in my opinion. So that's the best scenario that works out for everyone. Will that happen? I don't know, but
wait, where's Anthony Davis go?
To the Knicks.
Zion goes to the Knicks?
No, what? Are you not listening? You didn't hear anything?
No, I thought we're talking about Zion going to the Knicks, though.
No, Zion's not going to the Knicks. He's on the Pelicans. He's stuck.
So this is how it's going to work out for the Knicks.
Yeah, so the Knicks moves. So this is the consolation for Zion since he's sad he's on the Pelicans. He gets his buddy RJ Barrett to be on the team with them. They trade the 3rd pick, which is RJ Barrett, to the Pelicans for all that stuff, all those first rounders and Knox and Ntilikina. And then there you go. Boom. Everyone's happy. The Pelicans start over. AD's gone. Zion gets his best friend, a talented best friend, by the way, who could have been the number one pick, a lot of projected to be the number one pick this year. And then you get all those first round picks and young talent. Like, that's perfect. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Mike wanted to talk about Zion. I was like, okay, I'll let you. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
I just
what
wanted
happened.
to vent. I'm sorry. It was I'm a big basketball fan.
Well, no, these guys actually, most of the people here seem to want to hear it. They just. It
was a curveball. Sorry,
they're
guys.
just. Was it befuddled? Is that a word?
Befuddled. Okay.
Befuddled of me. They're like, what's wrong with this guy? What happened to Brain? It's basketball, guys. I used to love the Warriors more than the Niners, and then two things happened. Once, Fantasy Couch stopped being a complete failure, and I saw that it could be successful. And at the same time, the Warriors became a dynasty. I'm always an underdog type of guy. So once the Warriors became a dynasty and started crushing it, and then I was like, look, I got to be laser focused on NFL, on football, on the brand, social media, multimedia, Fantasy Couch. I got to be all in because this is it. And that's when we started growing. And so that's what I did. I mean, I still watch NBA playoffs. It's still, I mean, these series I found very exciting.
Very exciting.
I
can't without LeBron.
I can't.
I think.
Dude, not having LeBron is great. And then the mentally like. Remember Cartman in South Park, how he tastes the tears, and then like mentally also not having LeBron is also great too. Yeah. Like the fact that LeBron's crying on the couch. I love both. Oh, he is. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And Damian Lillard from Oakland. Yes. I filmed back around the same, and I was doing wedding videos. I filmed his cousin's wedding. And it's just,
Curry brothers,
the evil brother, the evil twin, that guy sucked in the series. Oh my God. That was so awful.
Well, I mean, I wasn't surprised.
Yeah. It was a big shocker. Warriors won in Oakland. Shocker. So, now, I honestly thought it would be more exciting. I expected the Warriors to win.
Me too. It was kind of like a yawn fest. I think the Houston Rockets was the real one.
Yeah, that was it. But at the same time, this is game one. You know how it is. Game one happens, everyone overreacts, and then like the Celtics won game one.
This isn't the same.
You don't think it'll get exciting at some point?
I don't. I think it's gonna
be like this.
I do think they'll win one at home, but I
don't. Yeah, maybe they win, maybe they don't. But I thought we'd see a little offense, though, a little scoring going on. Curry's the only guy that scored.
Without Nurkic, though, they just don't have enough firepower, man.
My Turkish distant relatives that guy's trash. He's not meant for the.
No, good.
He's not meant for
Nurkic?
No, Cantor.
Oh,
Turkish
Cantor.
guy.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not made for the modern NBA.
Yeah.
Like, he's not whack, but I mean, he ain't somebody that you want on your team in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, he's fasting, so that can't be.
Yeah, I did not. Oh no, that made him so much slower.
Yeah, I don't think.
But I mean, Steph Curry guarding a Steph Curry screen. That's probably the last guy you want doing that. I mean, he wasn't looking too good.
Yeah, I think we got this, man. The only thing that can stop us is either the Greek Freak or Kawhi, man. Those guys are just on fire.
Kawhi is a superstar.
Yeah, that shot. Oh my, that will go into the. That is in the history books.
Yeah.
One of the best buzzer beaters of all time. Like, that was amazing, man.
Ron really finally figures out he knew I was Turkish all along. You're right, Ron.
Wow, good one.
Ron. He was like he kept typing Turkish and stuff, and I never responded to him. That's on the main channel there. Here we can hang loose.
Okay, yeah,
it's all good. Yeah,
I like that.
So he's like,
shout out Ron,
using Google Translate. What about what do you guys think? Warriors gonna win, or who do you think's gonna win the Eastern? Like, it's not worth saying who's gonna win between the Blazers and Dubs. Dubs are gonna win. So who's gonna win the finals, and who's gonna go to the Eastern Conference? Bucks or the Kawhi Leonard? That guy Kawhi Leonard's so good.
Who has home court advantage? I don't know.
Bucks are the first. Bucks are first place.
Then, I guess Bucks then, like, that advantage might be enough.
Bucks got squad and Giannis.
Giannis is he's gonna be the MVP, right? Like that's a
Dude, if
foregone
Harden's the
conclusion.
MVP,
There's
we
no
have
way
to
Harden's
start
gonna
like
be
some
back to
kind
back
of
MVP.
change.org. Like it's such BS.
There will be riots in the streets. I don't know why of Milwaukee, but I don't think that they would do that. Like everyone doesn't respect the way Harden plays the game. You know, like the
Oh,
greats like
dude,
Kobe.
dude. Oh, everybody. No, no, no. When the Warriors won, I went on Twitter and I
Yeah,
didn't know. I thought there was going to be the same Warriors, Warriors, Warriors. Like everyone hating because everyone hates the Warriors. And I
yeah,
went. I didn't know that everybody hates Chris Paul and Harden. And that
yes.
was
They're
it. That was
yeah.
100% was all hate on Chris Harden. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, Chris Harden. Yeah, Chris Harden. Everybody hated him, and that's all it was. They're like, "Go home, finally, get out of here, go back, go watch." They're memeing, you know, the State Farm. They're watching the TV, and on the TV, they're watching basketball, and they're memeing it, saying they're watching the Western Conference Finals on the State Farm commercial. Oh, more time to do State Farm commercials. They hate those guys, and I hate them too. It's
They
a flop central.
anybody, bro.
It's
Like Warriors don't flop, at least, you know.
yeah.
I could say
If
that.
someone says they moving screens, you know, that's fine. That doesn't trigger me. But this flop central like destroys the game. Like it's so
It does.
disgusting, dude.
Karma.
Flailiness. What is this, soccer? My
This
God.
karma, man. That's what happens when you play like that, everyone. All the kids out there. You flop around, you look foolish, you cheat the game, you get kicked out in the second round.
They're calling it James Paul in the chat. James Paul. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Mike has high basketball IQ. He knows the game. He plays pretty well. He's a point guard. And then, you know, once you develop that jump shot eventually later on in your career, you just became pretty dang good. It became almost unguardable. So Mike taught me basically how to play basketball. He taught me all the fundamentals. You taught me so much that I know more, I'd say, than the average person, which is crazy. But I learned it all from Mike. But let me ask you this, Mike, as a baller, as a person who just loves basketball, loves playing.
Yes.
All this flop after flop after flop, because that's like your main strategy. Okay, you're flopping. You think that makes you soft? And then when the game's on the line, you're like, I've been practicing how to be soft all my life, and now I gotta just like, you can't worry about flopping now. You know, it's not about that anymore. It's about going hard, like going into a different zone, like I gotta play 110%. Is it like?
Well, no, the problem here is that it actually works for them. Like they're so good at it, and it gives them an advantage. Like, how many times did Harden go to the line? You know, he goes over 20 times a game. It's because he's flopping around. He wouldn't be able to do that if he wasn't flopping around. So it actually does give them a statistical advantage. But then in the playoffs, you can't have that same mindset. Like you have to play for real. Like you can't be expecting the same calls that you were getting all season because they're not gonna give them to you. It's not the same. So that's where they made a mistake. They got so used to flopping in the regular season, getting away with it and being successful at it working and giving them the edge that they thought they could do it in the playoffs. But you can't. It doesn't translate. That's where they
And
made
then
the
they were
mistake.
like, you guys gotta actually play some D and make some shots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because Warriors are gonna win this elimination game, and then they're like, what? They lost.
Yep, that's why it didn't pay off. So they didn't adjust. They didn't learn how to play. They got so used to flopping around everywhere that they forgot how to play normal basketball, and they couldn't get bailed out when like they used to.
It's so weird. You know, I talk about this like all the time. Like when I'm on the conference call or something, like I always talk about go out swinging, or if I'm gonna go out, if I'm gonna, you know, if it's gonna be over, the business is gonna be done. I want to go out my way on my terms and go out swinging, but you know, swinging with my own bat. So, I mean, if I'm going to get eliminated from the NBA playoffs, I'm going to do it my way. I don't want to go out as being the flopper. Like, I get, okay, winning a championship and you guys flop. Like, that's not me, but getting eliminated and being a flopper, like, to me is just not the way to go. Like, I'd rather go some other way. Like
it does work though. I just want to have
the
reason they do it is because it works.
That's why Harden scores a lot of points. He's a great shooter too and a great driver, but one of the reasons why he consistently scores a ton of points is because he gets to the line and he makes all his free throws, except, you know, in an elimination game.
GM, who's like big on analytics, Daryl Morey, I guarantee you he tells them to do this. Like he's like, hey guys, like we've done the math, and if you flop, like
How do you
it's
draw a flop on that
advantage.
whiteboard? What's the flop? What's an
No,
X?
but I guarantee you, like
No,
if
but
you if
what
you
is a flop when you draw it up? Like he draws it up. He draws up the flop. Like this is where you flop. Okay, Chris Paul, go here. You Harden, drive to the hole and flop. If not, then give it to Chris Paul and he
I'm
flops.
sure no, it's not. It's just they're saying like, okay, if you flop and if you do it a certain amount of times and get away with it, it equals X amount of points more in our favor. Like I guarantee you, that's part of the equation. You know what I mean? Like they
Like it's like
factor that
advanced
in.
analytics, but
Yeah, advanced
flopping.
analytics, and otherwise they wouldn't be doing this. Like they're the only team that consistently does it, and I think they do it because they're instructed to do it from the top. Like this wins. You know what I mean?
Someone in the
And it
chat,
does to a certain extent.
someone in the chat coined it flopalytics.
Flopalytics. Yeah, I guarantee you Daryl Morey is behind this.
That was me, by the way. Somebody,
Okay,
Roman says, flopping is the way, my son.
See, people are supportive of it. I'm telling you, there's you can look at it in two different ways, but the playoffs is just not working.
First, D'Antoni came up with the run and shoot, high to up tempo offense. 10 years later, he came up with what would be known as flopalytics.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it, I guess.
Oh, God.
It's ruining the game, damn it.
The NFL used to throw flags on punters for flopping.
Oh, yeah, they flop.
Punters flop. Like a soccer flop.
Kickers flop, I feel like sometimes.
I mean, if it's an important kick.
Who's that Bears kicker? He should have flopped.
Yeah, maybe he should have flopped. My God.
I forget. Who's that guy?
Parkey.
Parkey. He should have flopped.
So guys, the Bears had 8 kickers, right? During the offseason. One of them was named Blewett. His last name was Blewett.
Oh no. No matter how good that guy is, you can't have
got
that
cut,
guy
I
out
think.
there.
I don't know.
That's smart.
So they traded.
Are you guys joking? This is a troll? Like, that's what I would say.
Like yeah, after Parkey, who double doinked. And then you're like, I really like this guy, Blewett. What is he gonna do? What's the story on him?
Strong leg. That Blewett.
So they traded like a 7th rounder, a 6th rounder for a Pinoy or something. Pino, I don't know his name. From the Raiders. He might be ranked kind of high on my rankings.
I wanted to ask you, by the way, what do you think about the Niners drafting Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter, in the 4th? Was that a reach, or do you think that was a good move?
Oh my God, I love it, but I don't know. I don't want to be biased.
You love that?
I mean, he's that. We all know
in the 4th, though.
That is crazy.
Round.
No, it's no doubt. It's
that's a
crazy.
High round, not the 5th.
Yeah, no doubt it's crazy, but he is by far the best punter. Like in the draft, he's really good. He's fast. Was it 2 for 2 fake punts?
Well, that's what they said about Robert Aguayo too.
No, for sure that's a kicker, but
best kicker in the draft.
I mean,
first round.
But the Bucks suck, you know. Let's not think that they're smart or anything. Okay,
I hope it works out for us.
Look, it is a crazy, very early pick, but we've seen Bill Belichick, I believe, likes left-footed punters. He always had good punters. Usually teams that win a lot and win championships do have good, strong punters. Also, they have good kickers, usually. So it is kind of like a position. I don't really want to compare it, but like a slot corner, for instance. It's a very important position, but nobody drafts a slot corner in the 1st round. It's not like the position. Like it doesn't happen. They're all 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 7th rounders, undrafted free agents, or they sign them in the free agency. Like that's just how it is for a slot corner. Not because it's not important. Like it's very important, but other positions are just so much more important. Getting a tight end, that's a mismatch. Of course, a quarterback. Having a running back like Zeke, Gurley, Saquon. That's important. Having a good offensive line, good D-line, good pass rush, good outside corner. I mean, there's just so many. Having the main linebacker, the middle linebacker, the captain of the defense. All these positions, so that's why slot corner takes a little bit of a backseat to these positions. But if you want to win, I really don't remember a team that's won a lot or won championships that had a whack punter and whack kicker. Ravens won a Super Bowl. Justin Tucker, New England Patriots always have good punters, good kickers, and they always win. Eagles, I don't know who their punter was when they won. I assume he was good. I don't remember at all, but I think their kicker was good.
Yeah, Jake Elliott, he was good.
Yeah, he was good at least that year.
Yeah.
Kittle, the number one tight end. I think Kittle is the number one tight end in Dynasty, guys, and I am ranking him. I went ahead and did it. I am ranking him number 2 in
Behind
redraft.
Kelsey?
Behind Kelsey, ahead of Ertz. I made that move.
I agree with that 100%.
He's better than Ertz, talent-wise. Like, I watched the film, and so
some people think Kittle's the number 1. A lot of people have said that. Experts.
It's just hard to. I can't rank him ahead of Kelsey because if Tyreek is gone, like Kelsey's gonna get fed the ball a lot, and he's got Andy Reid as the coach and Pat Mahomes throwing him the ball. It's just not. I just don't see. I can't rank Kelsey out of the number 1 spot. I do so. Redraft: Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz, top 3. Dynasty though, I do have Kittle number 1.
Yeah,
and that's just the way it's got to be. Kittle is 4 years younger than Kelsey. It's got to be that way. Ryan says Kittle won me the ship last season, so I'm biased. Oh, we're all biased. OJ Howard 4th. Cool. What do you want? What do you want from me, Ron? There's no tight ends. There's no tight ends after the top 3. Like, it's done. OJ Howard.
Who's the guy that the Lions got? The rookie?
TJ Hawkinson. I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be.
Is there any chance that he's
in my top 10? Number 10. Okay. He slid in there.
He has a lot of upside, though. He might be higher when it's all said and done.
That team, I don't think they have a lot of other players, man. They got rid of Ebron. They're sad they got rid of him.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of opportunity. And then if Stafford, plays decently.
So actually, one of the people that everyone talked to me about is, why do you have Ebron so low? And I had Ebron last year. I loved it. Like, I won a lot of games with Ebron as my tight end. But this year, if Jack Doyle stays healthy, that is a big if. Ugh. But if he stays healthy, it's going to affect Ebron. Also, they had Devin Funchess this year, who is not a great player, but essentially he's like a third tight end too. So you really have to bank that Jack Doyle is going to be injured, and I don't like to do that. I mean, there's a good chance he gets hurt, but we don't know that. And there's a lot of tight ends. So Eric Ebron, it's okay if you don't agree with me ranking him number 13, but I do definitely. I'm very confident he will have a down year from last year. And he had a great season, but not a ton of receptions, if I remember correctly. A ton of touchdowns, though. So I definitely have Ebron ranked lower. All right, guys, we're going to end it right there. Make sure you guys subscribe to both YouTube channels, Fantasy Couch Podcast. Subscribe to the audio version of the podcast. It's on everything: Apple, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, all the right places. And then if you guys could leave a review, please. Just the one. That's all we want. Just the one, one little review on iTunes, one little review on Google Play. It really helps a lot, and it's free, guys. Only takes 2 seconds. Really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace out.